Hey, what is going on guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a few different champions that with the new runes coming for next patch might get a lot stronger. Now this video is just going to be speculation. We won't know exactly how strong each champion is going to be until the new runes do come out, but I'm going to be going over a few of the different runes here that I think could make a few different champions really good for the preseason. So with that being said guys, let's get started. So the first rune here that really stood out to me that I think could make a few different champions really good here is the rune Lethal Tempo. So this rune, after 1.5 seconds after damaging a champion, you're going to gain 30% to 80% attack speed based on your level for 3 seconds, and then attacking a champion will extend the effect to 6 seconds, and this is on a 10-second cooldown. And then you can also exceed the attack speed limit, which could be really strong come the mid to late game. So as for a few champions that I think might synergize really well with this new rune, the first one is Azir. So Azir, he's a champion that benefits from attack speed a lot, and if you're going to be getting this bonus attack speed here from the Lethal Tempo, and you can get up to like 80% bonus attack speed come the late game, I just feel like that's going to be insane on Azir. On top of the fact that you can now get that bonus attack speed with Azir when you do have 3 soldiers down, I just feel like the amount of attack speed you're going to be able to get during team fights and just overall is going to be really strong, and I feel like this is probably going to be the go-to rune for the keystone on Azir. And then obviously this is a pretty strong rune as well for a few different AD carries. I think that Kog'Maw is the one that really stands out that could definitely use this rune very nicely. He's a champion that if you can get a ton of attack speed on him, because he's got that percent HP shred, it just allows him to deal so much consistent damage during team fights. So I feel like this is definitely going to be the go-to one on Kog'Maw. As for the other AD carries, I wouldn't think that you'd want to run it on AD carries like Ezreal or Lucian. More of these caster type AD carries you wouldn't want to run it on, but Kog'Maw I think is a great champion to run it on. You might run it on Jinx as well, maybe Tristana, but I feel like Kog'Maw is the clear winner here, and he's going to benefit the most from this new rune. And the only other champion I can really come up with right now that would be pretty strong with this new rune would be Yasuo. Because Yasuo's Q, the cooldown on it gets reduced from his bonus attack speed, you're going to be getting 30% bonus attack speed when you do proc Lethal Tempo in the early game, and that's going to put your Q on a very short cooldown. So trading in the early game with Yasuo, if you do take this rune, is going to be really strong, and you're just going to be able to get a lot of Qs off during the laning phase. Now I think that tier stacking champions will also get stronger in the preseason. With this new rune called Futures Market, it allows you to go into debt by 150 gold in the early game, and this is going to allow these champions like Ryze or Anivia that want to grab the tier in the early game to go back to base early and just grab that early tier. You are going to be taking the teleport a lot of the time on the Anivia or the Ryze, so you can farm like 2 waves, and by that time you'll probably have enough gold for your tier with the amount that you can go in debt. So this is going to allow these tier stacking champions to just stack that up a lot faster in the early game, and it will allow them to hit a little bit of a better or a little bit of an earlier mid-game power spike. Now Predator is a very interesting rune that I think is either going to be really strong or really weak. It's kind of hard to tell, but basically it's a rune that allows you to gain 45% bonus out of combat movement speed for 15 seconds, and then your next basic attack will deal 60 to 140 damage, and then it's also got a scaling on that as well. So this is on a pretty long cooldown. It's on a 180-second cooldown in the early game, and it also takes 3 seconds to channel this effect. So this is going to be best used on roaming mid lane champions or jungle picks as well, and I think that if used correctly, this rune can just be very influential. If you're playing a strong roaming mid lane champion and you can just shove out the wave and use this to roam around the map, 45% bonus out of combat movement speed is just insane in my opinion, and that will really catch people off guard. You're going to be getting from mid lane to bot bot lane or mid lane to top lane in like 5 seconds, maybe even less than that. So this is going to be a very interesting one to take a look at here in the preseason. And I think champions like Talon, Zed, Fizz, these assassins in the mid lane are definitely going to be ones that would consider running this. And I feel like it would be very strong on those champions. Now this one could also be very interesting on a few roaming support champions. If you do take this on someone like a Blitz or a Thresh or a Bard, then you can go for an early base or just whenever you do base, and then you can activate this. You can roam super fast up to top lane or over to mid lane, and you can just get a kill there, head back to lane and just get your other lanes snowballing. I'm not too sure if this would be worth it over some of the other like support runes, but it's definitely a very interesting rune here, and it's going to be one to watch out for in the preseason for sure. And the final rune I want to take a look at in this video is going to be Press the Attack. So your basic attacks against champions will apply stacks, and then at 3 stacks, the target is going to take bonus damage, and they're also going to be exposed. And when they're exposed, they take 12% increased damage from all sources over the next 6 seconds. Lucian is a pick that really stands out to me that could synergize great with this new rune. Because of the Lucian passive, the double shot, it's going to be very easy for you to proc Press the Attack. All you got to do is auto attack, use an ability, and then auto attack again for your double shot passive. And this is just going to add for a lot of burst in the laning phase. I feel like Lucian paired up with an aggressive support, someone like a Leona or a Blitzcrank that can just go super aggressive in the early game, is going to allow for some great all-in bot lanes. And I feel like with this rune, it should definitely add for a little bit more diversity down in the bot lane. And then as for other AD carries that would want to take this, I don't think you're going to want to take this on most of the other ADs unless you are in an aggressive lane in the early game. I think it will depend on what support you're playing with as to what rune you're going to want to run on a lot of these AD carries, just because if you're playing with a support that is not going to be dealing a lot of damage in the early game and they're not going to be benefiting from that 12% extra damage from Press the Attack, then I just feel like it's not going to be as worth it as opposed to something like the Lethal Tempo that does give you that bonus attack speed. So on these champions like the Kog'Maw, the Twitch, and just the Tristana, I feel like this Press the Attack probably isn't going to be the one to go for. I feel like Press the Attack is going to be on Lucian for sure, and then on other AD carries depending on the situation. So those were the runes that I think are going to be the ones that will influence the meta a little bit and should make a few of these champions that I talked about in this video stronger for the preseason. I will definitely be making some videos when the preseason does hit and go more into detail about which champions are actually really good, because this video here, it is only speculation. We won't know for sure how strong these picks are going to be come the preseason until it does hit the live servers. But let me know down in the comments below, guys, which runes you think are going to be good for certain champions and which champions you think are going to get a lot stronger in the preseason. If you guys did enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've yet to already. So thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.